You're not helping me. Believe me, you're not helping me. You need to take your head out of Trump's ass and start doing your representation.
I don't care if you lose your farm. I don't give a shit. This is what you voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. He campaigned on tariffs. He said he was going to do this. I'm supposed to feel bad now? I'm dealing with my own shit, my own consequences to your vote. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about your farm.
Seems to me that there is a serious epidemic of cold-heartedness, man. Just no empathy with this whole MAGA and Democrat feud, man. You know, oh, dude, this looked like the new gangs, man, of the U.S.
361 farm bankruptcies so far in 2025. 361. Let me tell you, that is a 13% increase in farm bankruptcies at the same time last year in 2024. 361. What's troubling is we normally sell $12.8 billion of soybean per 2024 records to China. And so far, $0 have been bought for China for soybean. And we're not selling a penny to China. They have already made their deals with Brazil, with Argentina. Expect farm bankruptcies to rise. Yes, farmers voted for Trump, not once, not 2 times, but 3 times. And MAGA is still cheering on Trump, despite the economic.
So Donald Trump just said that he is going to be bailing out the farmers using the tariff revenue. Mind you, the tariff revenue is coming from us, the consumers. He said for a little bit the farmers are going to be hurting, but when the tariffs start to kick in, they will start to benefit from it. And then after that, he went on to say that they are bringing in so much tariff revenue after literally saying that farmers are going to be hurting for a while. When is it going to click in that he does not care? I don't think he realizes there's going to be no benefit from this. Because the only people who are benefiting is the government. It's not us. Or he does realize because he did the exact same thing in his first term and people did not learn from that. In his first term, a lot of farmers went bankrupt and lost their family farms. And they had to get a government bailout. And now in his second term, people are still losing their farms and they're going bankrupt. Meanwhile, the big corporations are buying up the land that the farmers lost.
And we're going to take some of that tariff money that we made, we're going to give it to our farmers who are, for a little while, going to be hurt until it kicks in. The tariffs kick into their benefit. We're going to make sure that our farmers are in great shape because we're taking in a lot of money.
With the new TikTok deal,
I just seen a post about farmers needing American taxpayers to bail them out. Absolutely not. Why should we have to bail you out? And honestly, we can't bail you out. We need to bail out ourselves. Like, the cost of everything is through the roof. Most people can't even buy groceries for a week, 2 weeks, but you want us to bail you out. Even though you were forewarned that this was going to happen, y'all didn't care. So go ask the government to bail y'all out. They're giving the top 1% of these corporations these huge tax breaks. Have them bail you out. Because American taxpayers, we can't do anything for you. We have nothing to give you.
Trump's illegal tariffs have single-handedly destroyed the U.S. soybean market. As of yesterday, the price of soybeans is about $9.34 here in Iowa. The cost of production is anywhere from $11 to $11.50. So per bushel of soybeans, it's about a $2 loss. And when you add the fact that it's about 50 bushels in an acre of soybeans here, you can do the math to see how bad things are. Historically, 60% of Iowa soybeans have gone to China. With Trump's trade wars from his first administration, the U.S. has become an unreliable supplier. So instead of these soybeans going to China, it's soybeans from South America, like places like Brazil and Argentina. That leads to more grains going to be left in the bin, which leads to oversupply, which means to lower prices. So here's what we need to do. We need to demand trade, not aid. Farmers don't want a bailout, they want markets. The second thing we need to do is push for competition, both on the market side and especially on the input side with seed and
Goddamn libs keep tipping my cows. Biden already cost me my farm, and I was told tariffs were a good thing. Hell, Daddy posted it on Truth.
All these damn illegal aliens taking over American jobs, it ain't right because they're all criminals, you know. That's why we need a strong leader that'll put Americans first. That's why I voted for him, because he said he's going to deport all them illegal aliens, okay? Because I'm a proud American farmer. I don't need no illegal immigrants taking over my jobs. Ain't that right, Jose? Jose? Juan? Pedro? Where did y'all go? Hey, where did they go? They left. Why did they leave? They got work to do. Because they were illegal, and you voted for the guy that wants to deport them. Not really the most stable working environment. What? But I need their cheap labor to make my thin profit margins to make sense financially. Well, you should have thought about that, because now you're going to have to hire Americans, and they're going to unionize and ask for higher wages and eat into those profit margins. Are you saying that I have to face the consequences of my own actions? Because we can't afford this. We're all going to be bankrupt in 2 quarters. Funny how life works.
If we hadn't filed bankruptcy, I wouldn't be building my family farm any further than it was. I wouldn't be capable of investing in our future with baby pigs and more chickens, which is what will eventually be my income full time. If we hadn't filed bankruptcy and gotten out of all of that unsecured, non-priority general debt that was just drowning us after trying to keep a business afloat, I would not be able to invest in my farm, in myself, in my family. You may not think that a farm or a homestead is wealth of any sort, but I have animals that provide food. I have land that provides food with hard work. You have to decide what you want your future to be. If you want to stop struggling and build your future, getting a free consultation with an attorney doesn't mean you have to file. It simply means you are finding all the pieces to the puzzle, deciding which route is better. Can you pay off your debt? That's fantastic. Do it. But if you are in a place where you have so much debt and it's suffocating you and there's no way out, bankruptcy is an option. Don't let somebody else's opinions stop you from building a future, from building wealth, from investing in yourself.
You're saying it's not true that some white farmers have been murdered?
No, it's not true that there is a genocide against white farmers.
Okay, whatever you call it, have white farmers been murdered?
Actually,
All right, guys, I didn't really want to have to get on here and do this, but I had to. These are fiberglass stakes right here. Those big, bulky stakes on the back of the truck, wooden stakes. I called 2 weeks ago to get a quote on these fiberglass stakes because we need some more stakes this year. I got a quote, 83 cents. I called the man this morning. I said, hey, I know these tariffs are crazy and everything going on. I said, what can you do me on those fiberglass stakes now if we needed a load? It's a 3-month ETA from time you place the order. He said, Taylor, you don't want to hear this price that I'm about to give you. And I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those stakes now is going to be $1.74 a piece. And I said, well, you know, and I know both that we can't do that, and that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm.
This is terrifying. What? Farmers across America are going bankrupt. They're calling it Farmageddon. Good. Serves them right for supporting Trump. You still don't get it, do you? Where do you buy food? The grocery store? And you think food prices are bad now? Just wait. Tariffs have decimated farmers. What do you think happens when you start ridiculous trade wars with other countries? They get mad? Yeah, understatement. China's the world's top soybean buyer, and soybeans alone brought in $13 billion for American farmers last year. Now those sales, almost all gone. Yikes. And that's not all. These immigration crackdowns, some farms lost 100% of their workers, all kidnapped by ICE. Now, how do you pick food without workers? You can't. It's rotting in the field. Whoa. Plus, seeds, feeds, machinery, potash, pesticides, all more expensive than ever before. Then you add on high interest rates, and what do you get? Farmageddon? Bingo. And farmers were already 3 times more likely to die by suicide. Ugh. And don't forget, in 22, JD Vance's venture capital firm heavily invested in Acre Trader, an app specifically designed to buy up farmland for cheap and sell shares to investors. Wait, so the goal is want to control people? Control their food. So what do? Thoughts?
Did you know that Bill Gates is the largest private owner of farmland in the U.S.? He owns 270,000 acres. What does the computer boy want with all that land? These are farm facts with Granny.
So I'm a black farmer, and a lot of people are wondering why are black farmers not panicking like a lot of white farmers? Well, let me explain to you the reasons why. It's because white farmers have been handed everything to them, a lot of them. Not saying all of them, but a good bit of them. And by that I mean this, MLK even pointed out, he says, farmers in the West and the Midwest who were white, they were given land, they were given money, they were given training, they were given a lot. Whereas the black farmers weren't given anything, and the largest civil rights settlement in U.S. history is Pickford v. Glickman, where you had a class action lawsuit, bunch of black farmers all joined the lawsuit, and they won a huge settlement because the USDA was shown to be racist for decades. So because black farmers haven't been given anything, we've been learning to do without, unlike your white farmers. So when things are taken away from you, all your subsidies, all your tax breaks, guess what? You panic. Whereas we've always been going through this shit. So there's problems in privilege.
Why wouldn't Congress pass a law saying we can't have foreign ownership of land in the United States? You can't sell the country to other countries.
And I think Utah has like 34,000 acres owned by the CCP. Canada, I think they're the largest foreign owner of agricultural land, like tillable in the U.S. Saudi owns a freaking ton of stuff down in Arizona, and they're putting all kinds of guys out of business down there. Like they'll punch a deep well because they've got money, lower the aquifer, and then the rancher guy, he can't afford a 1,000-foot well, so then they're able to buy up his stuff because now it's dry.
I mean, that just seems like a really easy fix. Foreigners don't get to own our country, so pretty happy to have you. You can do whatever, come on vacation here. You're great. We love you, but you can't own our country, right?
Right.
Listen to me. Racism is the poison in Arkansas soil. That's right, racism. Last week, hundreds of Arkansas farmers stood in a room and broke down in prayer in front of their elected officials. They weren't praying for rain, guys. They weren't praying for sunshine. They weren't even praying for a bumper crop. They were praying because their farms, their family land, their way of life is collapsing under tariffs and trade wars. And here's the truth. Those tariffs, that trade war, that whole playbook was born out of racism. Farmers were told the story that punishing foreigners would make America strong again. They were told to clap when leaders wagged their finger at China, Mexico, or whoever else they decided was the villain of the week. They were told it was patriotism, but really it was racism dressed up in red, white, and blue, and farmers bought it. They cheered it. They co-signed it. And now they are the ones paying the bill. Look at soybeans. Without tariffs, U.S. beans leaving New Orleans are cheaper than Brazil. But with tariffs, suddenly Brazil is winning. And who did that? Not God, not nature, not fate, your own leaders waving a racist flag and calling it strength. And the farmers who clapped for it are now on their knees begging for help. This isn't the first time. History is packed with proof that racism bankrupts the very people it fuels. Jim Crow didn't just brutalize black citizens. It strangled the Southern economy for generations. Segregation didn't just rob black kids of opportunity. It robbed the entire South of progress, creativity, and prosperity. The Chinese Exclusion Act of the 1880s, it cut off immigrant labor that helped build America, leaving industries starved. Japanese internment during World War II, well, that destroyed businesses, farms, and families, and the whole economy bore the cost. Every single time America lets racism drive policy, the poison spreads. It never just hits the target. It always circles back. And now here we are again. Farmers in Arkansas prayed out loud last week because they're broke. And they know it. And some of them voted for this mess. Some of them cheered when the tariffs went into place because they thought it would put others in their place. But you can't hate and expect to harvest prosperity. You cannot poison your neighbor's well without eventually drinking from it yourself. So let's call this what it is. Racism is the poison in your soil. It's why your crops can't compete. It's why your barns are empty. It's why you bowed your head in front of men in suits who don't care about you at all beyond your vote. Racism doesn't just starve the people you think are your enemies. It starves you.
One of the things I wanted to ask him, and I'm going to do it now, that he's cutting them in a way that you can have second growth.
Right. Last year we had an opportunity to cut 3 times. It wasn't a full cut, but we got a chance to cut at least, I'd say 15 or 20 bunches off the third cutting, off the same plant. We cut it off at level with the ground. It produced another plant. We cut it off and it come back and put another plant on. So we have had an opportunity to cut them at least 3 times. Not a full field cut, but we select cuts some of them.
Right. So the second cutting, so he's cutting them off. He's not, some people used to crop them, and what he does, he's cutting them off at the ground.
Right.
And what's going to happen is that they're going to put on more. Put on another plant. They put on another.
So the people who say no handouts just lined up for a handout. Now tell me why farmers in Arkansas are standing outside with their hands out again, begging Uncle Sam for money. See, when it's regular people struggling, rent too high, groceries too ridiculous, can't afford health care, the answer is always from these people: stop complaining, stop asking for handouts, and pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Farmers in Arkansas are crying out to the feds for stimulus money like it's open mic night. And look, I get it, because times are hard everywhere. When you plant your crops, raise your cattle, take on the risks of farming, wasn't that a personal business decision? So why is it on me and you to make sure that decision keeps paying out? Because see, when you and I make bad decisions, government doesn't cut us a check to make it right for us. Now, let's connect the dots here a little bit. These are the same people voting for the same politicians who say government is the problem. Yet as soon as the tractors stop running and their profits dry up, government magically turns into a solution for them. Ain't that funny and ironic? The question is, do we owe farmers any help? Or do they need to practice what they preach? Figure it out. Tighten that belt. Leave taxpayers out of it.
I'm a black farmer. My grandmother thinks I've lost my mind. I'm a black farmer. No one thinks I'm the owner. I'm a black farmer. Everybody thinks he's my boss.
Get your ass back to work, Leroy.
My name's not Leroy. I'm a black farmer, so you know I'm raising some chickens. I'm a black farmer. I hire white people to staff my farmer's market stall so people don't walk by without stopping. I'm a black farmer. There's 2,000 chickens on my property, but I still go to Popeyes twice a month. I'm a black farmer. I'm only able to do this because I have an engineering degree. I'm a black farmer. People are shocked to discover I'm not an urban gardener. I'm a black farmer. People are either really excited or really angry when I talk about racism in agriculture. I'm a black farmer. Yes, I've heard of Soulfire Farm. I'm a black farmer. It's hard to find black employees because most working class black folks associate farming with racism, and they ain't wrong. I'm a black farmer. I send my white employees and partners to the bank and the FSA so that by the time they realize the owner's black, they've already given me the money. I'm a black farmer. Restaurants like to tag me in their social media posts so it looks like they support black farmers, and then I never hear from them again. I'm a black farmer. I'm the only one at the livestock auction that isn't white, and I'm feeling a little nervous.
This pork company, which produces 1 out of 4 pigs in America. The Chinese government owns this company now. China is buying up all this farmland. They're growing their pig food here, feeding the pigs, and then shipping the pigs to China.
Using our resources.
Where's the line? There's not really laws put in place for this kind of thing. Yeah. But now they're starting to pick up on it, because I think Florida and Texas put out this thing where the Chinese government cannot buy any farmland. Mm-hmm. Another example was Saudi Arabia. At one point, Saudi Arabia was the nation's 5th largest grain producer. It's a desert country, right? Mm-hmm. So what they did was they tapped into all their aquifers. In the whole desert, they just pumped full of water to grow this grain. Well, guess what? Aquifers ran out. What they've been doing is going to different nations, buying land to grow grain. As an example was in Arizona. They bought a crap ton of land, tapped into the aquifers, and they're sucking all the water up. And so all these surrounding homes, all of their wells are dry now. But there's no law that restricts how much you can pump out of the aquifers.
How do you rein all this back in? It's like, can you?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Man, I just want to thank the taxpayer and my buddy Donald J. Trump for this excavator. So right here, you see this excavator here? I had it delivered here today, and I paid for that with taxpayer money. I just called up my buddy, Donald J. Trump. I said, hey, Donald. I said, hey, would you mind sending me a check? Because I'd like to have an excavator out here at this farm. He says, oh, yeah, sure, buddy. I love my farmers. I'm going to get on that right now. And he said, I'll send you direct deposit. He said, we ain't got to send you a check. I said, that'll be even better. So I called up the dealership. I said, hey, send me one of these Bobcat E85s out here. It's a 20,000-pound machine. It's pretty good sized machines. Go ahead and send it out here to me. And sure as hell, that's what they did. Government sent me the direct deposit in my account. I sent it over to the dealership. They sent me the excavator here. Works out pretty good. I don't have a dollar in this thing because taxpayer money just paid for it all.
Mexico and China are the two biggest rice buyers for the United. They buy more rice off of us than anyone. And when they stop buying rice, we have nowhere to go with the rice. It won't be a trickle down effect. It will be like flushing a toilet if the ag industry collapses. Totally 100% dependent on the Lord Jesus Christ. I surrender it to Him.
No.
Muchas ganas, voy a salir adelante. Ayudaré a mis padres, a mis hermanos, llegaré a ser importante.
We have a new trend in the U.S. real estate market, and that's billionaires buying up farmland all across America. We're talking Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Ted Turner, and Stan Kroenke, all of whom own hundreds of thousands, if not millions of acres of land across the U.S. Now, why are these billionaires buying up this farmland? Well, they're doing it as an investment. Bill Gates has come out and said he's buying up land across 17 different states because he views it as a good investment for the future, with 1 acre of farmland appreciating by 400% over the last 20 years, going from $800 to $4,000 an acre. And what many of these new owners are doing is that they're killing the small farm. And the small farmer in America, the number of farms has dropped from 6 million in 1930 to less than 2 million today. A vast majority of our crop production is now controlled by mega conglomerate farms leasing land from these billionaire investors. And so,
you don't think China is a major threat to the U.S.? You might want to think again. Since 2010, China has been quietly buying up American farmland, farms, ranches, even land near military bases, and it's happening everywhere. I live here in New Jersey, where Hamilton is famous for its blueberries, the blueberry capital of the world. Well, guess what? Some of the biggest producers here have been approached by Chinese buyers looking to make a deal. Why? And should we be worried? I sure think we should. Right now, Chinese investors own nearly 192,000 acres of U.S. farmland worth almost $2 billion. And that number is growing fast. Every day. From the Midwest to Texas to Florida, China is literally expanding its footprint on American soil. Take DeMio Blueberry Farms here in New Jersey. They're right down the road. They've been approached multiple times by Chinese buyers offering serious money. On top of that, China invited them to an international blueberry conference and even offered to cover their expenses. DeMio turned them down. But why the sudden interest in American blueberries? And it's not just farms. China already owns the world's largest pork producer, Smithfield Foods. After buying it for more than $4.7 billion, that deal also included 146,000 acres of U.S. farmland. So now, they control a massive chunk of America's meat supply, and they're buying up the land where your food is grown. Do you see a pattern here? Some lawmakers are calling this a national security threat. Honestly, it's really hard to argue with them. China has even bought land near U.S. military bases, like in North Dakota, right next to an Air Force facility. Coincidence? Or is it something more calculated and nefarious? But let's not put all this on China, though. The biggest foreign landowner in the U.S. is actually Canada, with over 12.8 million acres, mostly timberland, farmland, and other ranches. Other major players in U.S. soil include the Netherlands, 4.9 million acres, Italy, 2.7 million acres, United Kingdom, 2.5 million acres, Germany, 2.3 million acres. But let's put that list into perspective. All of those countries, well, they're our allies. So here's the big question. Should the U.S. put a stop to foreign countries, especially China, buying up American farmland? And if so, how do we do it? Now let's flip the script though. The U.S. owns a lot of land in other countries as well. We have 750 plus military bases in 80 plus nations covering hundreds of thousands of acres. American companies also own millions of acres of farmland in places like Brazil and Argentina and Australia. So is this just how global business works, or is there a real danger here? I would really like to know what you think about this. Is this a national security threat or just business as usual? Drop a comment in the comment section and I'm reading them all, and follow for more interesting mind-bending thoughts like this one.